his journey around Britain in a searching series that combines hard-nosed, investigative journalism and total self-indulgence. Who ate all the pies?
I couldn't do a series about pies without coming to a traditional pie and mash shop in London. I'm standing outside Goddard's, just a stone's throw from the Cutty Sark in Greenwich, and I'm staring in the window, and it's a pie lover's heaven. There's cheese and onion, chicken and mushroom, apple, cherry. We've been making pies here since 1890, and Goddard is the main man. And the staple round here is the minced beef with mash, covered with a mysterious thing called liquor. I can't really understand that. Liquor on a pie. I'll go and investigate.
Who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? McMillan, he ate all the pies.
What sauce do you have to put over?
The liquor was actually parsley sauce. Try it once.
Sure.
One of those things try before you die.
Cool.
Well, I'm in Goddard's Pie and Mash Emporium, and I'll tell you what, it's fantastic. It's got wooden floor, beautiful worn floorboards, green tiles about halfway up the wall, mirrors on the wall so you can watch yourself eating the pie and mash, chairs that are probably more comfortable than they look like they come out of a church or a church home.
Yeah, many years ago.
You can't see them, they're like pews, and a fantastic bar with a marble top.
That's right.
Well, you get your pie and your mash and your liquor. And I'm with Goddard, who's one of the brothers who runs this.
Yes, that's correct.
And we've been here for a little while, and you're busy, aren't you?
We are, yeah. I mean, this is a Monday, and we're ticking along nicely. I mean, if you come in at the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, you would not be able to stand here and talk now. It would be absolutely heaving. And people join this queue that goes out sort of 20, 30 feet out of our premises and round the corner and past the window. And by the time they get halfway, they've studied the menu. You know, they're ready, they're prepared.
Tell us about the kind of pies you do. You do a range of pies, don't you?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've diversified over the years. The chicken and mushroom pies, the cheese and onion pies, which are a big hit, cheese and onion. It's great for the vegetarians. It's great when a family comes in. You've got 3 of the 4 of the family are traditional pie and mash eaters. One of them's sort of thinking, oh, I don't really want to eat in there. I don't like pie and mash. But they've got a choice. They can have something different. And the traditional minced beef pie, which, you know, far outweighs everything else we do, probably by 10 times. If you went back about 50, 60 years, you would find there were eels in the pie and not beef, simply because eel was a cheaper commodity. But eels have become significantly more expensive to buy now, and the mince took over. All homemade. We make everything on the premises. We bake everything fresh. It's wholesome. It's freshly cooked. There's no preservatives, no additives, no colourings. It's just good, honest, home-cooked food, but served to the public.
Okay, we'll have it with that. With the liquor. So.
The pie's got 2 different types of pastry. We use like a suet type base to the pie, which means when you cook it off, it still stays nice and soft and almost like, not gooey, but it's soft. It doesn't take a lot of chewing. The top pastry is like a rough crust pastry. A real hardened pie and mash man will come in. He'll want his pies turned upside down because the crispy top he wants upside down. And when you pour the liquor on top, it softens the top of the pie. And that's how they like it. And they dig their fork and spoon in, break it open, and they whack the vinegar and the pepper on. And you know they've been eating pie and mash for years.
And they're an interesting shape, aren't they? They're not a round pie.
No, they're not. We make them in an oval dish. The dishes themselves are very rare. I mean, we can't get them remade now because basically just the companies have stopped making them. They use different types of materials now to make bases, but we've got these cast iron, also with aluminium inside as well, and it lightens the dish, but at the same time it keeps that cooking. Anybody that works with pastry and cooks pastry knows that you can cook pastry too quickly. Alternatively, you can cook pastry too slowly as well. And these dishes are great. They self-line, so you don't have to grease the base. You just put the pastry on, podge it, we call it podging, of which we use another piece of pastry, and your moulds. It's great. You podge all the pies down, all the bases into the dish, and then of course we cook off the fillings, and you fill all the pies, seal the edges, and then the tops go on, and you either water or egg wash the pies down and go straight in the oven. And the type of ovens we've got, 15, 16 minutes, you've got a whole ball of pies out, presto. You know, it's that easy, that simple. In essence, unless you're actually brought up and know what you're doing, if you don't know how to make the pastry...
So what is it then? It's a secret skill?
It's a secret skill, exactly. I mean, I was taught from my dad, and my dad was taught from his dad, and his dad was taught from his dad. And this goes down 5 generations. There is an art to it. And I mean, we use lots of different fats, lots of different flour, You know, there's a certain method to making a pastry.
Well, at the moment, I'm just trying to peep in the kitchen, but we're not allowed in, are we?
No, you're not allowed in. It's a case of, you know, utmost secrecy. You know, I think it keeps the history intact.
That's enough talking. I think we'll try one with liquor, if we
With
could.
liquor, oh yeah.
What is the liquor then?
The liquor,
Gravy,
it used to be originally made from juice from the eels. But as over the years, of course, times have changed, we've come up with a new recipe, not using the eel juice, but using something else, which will not be disclosed.
Factor X.
Factor X, exactly. And that is the thing to have. Anybody that's a pie and mash man has the liquor.
Right,
You're talking foreign language with gravy. We do it, but, you know, that's for the Midlands, you know. That's for the guys in the middle of the country. We're traditional down here. So I'll put you out some. What you got here? These are pies. I mean,
Quite shallow for that.
quite shallow. I mean, if you look at the base, you know, that still stays nice and soft. But on the top, it's a little bit crispy. You know, that's a good pie. You know. And what you do, you turn it over onto the plate, and then, again, going back a few years, or in some places still do it, they scrape the mash onto the plate. Now, we used to do that many moons ago, but we've moved on. We got a little bit posh over the years, you know what I mean? So we get the scoop out. We make it look a bit more dignified, you know? So we put a couple of scoops of mash on. Okay? It's good old stodgy mash. Now, you've got to have some of the proper sauce, the liquor, okay? So pour that right over the top. No half measures, okay?
Green with it.
Right, it's green. He's staring at it thinking, what am I going to
No,
eat
I'm
here?
going to enjoy this.
Hold on.
Oh.
Don't go away. You've got the proper vinegar, okay? This is like chilies in it. Gives it a little bit of zest. Gives it a little bit of oomph. Now, if you go and grab yourself a fork and spoon, yeah, and break open the top of the pie with your fork and spoon, right in the middle, that's it. Tear it open, that's it, right? You can see the lovely sort of gravy with the mince in there. Now, you put a proper dash of that in, right? Okay, don't be scared. There you go. And you put a little bit of the pepper, okay? Not a lot. Just... Right, that's your lot, okay?
So where does it best to start? In the pie?
So you start in the pie. No, get a bit of pastry on the spoon. You've got to take a solid mouthful, that's it. And a bit of mash even.
Oh, yeah.
Scoop a bit of mash on there. Now give that a mouthful. Let me know what you think.
That's beautiful. The pastry is fantastic.
How tasty is that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
It is the thing about
See,
it.
I
It
haven't
does-
surprised him, have I?
It moistens the thing.
Yeah. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Cheers, Dave. See you later, mate.
Oh, it's got...
Still the flavour in the pastry. The pastry is what?
See, the pastry's the thing, because in a sense meat is meat.
Yeah.
But the pastry...
You can't cheat the public. In my view, you can't cheat the public. People expect a certain standard, and you know, okay, it's the bottom of the ladder in terms of the food scale. You know, we can all go into a restaurant and spend £100 and have a lovely meal. But I'll tell you something. I've been to many places and eaten, and I've come out thinking, I wish I'd had double pie, double mash, and liquor. Honestly. And do you know, all the guys I have working in the kitchen over the years, I haven't coming back in. Ones that have moved on because they can't get a better meal, and for the money. Yeah. It's not overpowering.
Oh, it's not thick either. I thought it might be thick.
I could quite easily make that really full of flavour, and if I did that, it would overpower the taste of the pastry. It's right with the pie, and it's right with the mash. This isn't something we've all just sort of slopped together, you know. This isn't something that, if it was like that, it wouldn't have stood the test of time. And it has. I mean, this was going since the middle 18th century, you know. It's a long time in London. It's a traditional... When people turn to you and they say, what is traditional London food? It's not fish and chips. Fish and chips is a coastal thing. Traditional London food is no more traditional than pie and mash.
It is a working person's food, isn't it? This would fill you up and get you ready for work, but also it feels like the original fast food.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is the original fast food, and it had to be, because when you consider the dock workers, the guys down the Thames, working their nuts off 14 hours a day, and they needed something hot, wholesome, fill them up, give them the energy they need to get through the day. And this, they come off the docks, they'd march down here, they'd be in the shop, they would order, you know, you've had just a single pie, single mash, they would have a double-double easily, and probably even come back for another single, you know, and nail it down. It hasn't cost them a lot. It was a cheap commodity, and that's why it stayed cheap. It didn't earn a lot.
Now, Greenwich is getting a bit trendy these days, isn't it? You've got
Yeah.
noodle bars and all that, but people still come here and all the students from the University of Greenwich,
Yep.
they're a bit like the dock workers because they haven't got any money.
Exactly. Since the university has opened up, Greenwich University, you know, we're looking at somewhere, I believe, between 2,000 to 3,000 students knocking about around Greenwich. You know, I'm sure most of them are in the bar, but they have to eat at some point. And they come, you know, and they come round and they're looking round, and of course, like you say, it's gone up market, and a lot of places are charging 6, 7, 8 quid a head for a meal. And of course, you know, these students ain't got that to burn. They come in here, they're spending £2.50 for a meal and a drink. And I think it dawns on them. A lot of them, even in the first year, come in, they don't know what it's about. They come in and blow me down, you'll see them in 3 days in a week.
You're only a young man, but do you see yourself doing this in 30 years?
It's a very good question. I like to think I've got some children growing up and helping me out. You know, I've got 2 daughters of my own. My brother's got a boy and a girl. Who knows what they're going to do, you know. I can't force them down this avenue, but, you know, somewhere down the line they might join in. And yeah, I mean, it's my life.
Because what you wouldn't want is this knowledge, this to die with you, would
No,
you?
not
It's
really.
got to carry on.
No, I wouldn't. And, you know, I'm really passionate about what I do. I don't let things become sloppy, and I make sure things are done correctly, no matter how time-consuming it ends up being. I hate to see things done badly, and yeah, I mean, I probably will end up doing this in 30 years' time. It's probably the answer you're looking for. A lot of pies that we sell here go out as takeaway in a bag, and when I take a little wander out sometimes, I walk around, I'm looking around, I'm seeing all these people eating my pies. It's quite funny, but, you know, I'm pleased. I watch them chomping in and really enjoying it, and I'm thinking, that's when it makes me really proud, you know, that I'm not just producing something to make money. I'm doing something that actually is good for the public, general public, and you know, I'm never going to be a millionaire, but at the same time, you know, I feel like I'm giving the public a choice, something different, something, you know, it's an option for them. And, you know, nowadays, it just seems a lot of the time you see kids just eating on chips and burger and pizzas and... OK, we all like a burger and a pizza, we're not all, you know, it's not a bad thing, but the thing is, it's not something you can eat every day. Pie mash proven. My granddad lived till he was 91. His granddad, his dad, lived till he was 87, I think it was. Can't be too much wrong with the fat and the pastry, can there? You know, I know my forefathers have eaten pie mash for years, and he hasn't done them any harm, so... He ain't leaving a lot there, is he? You know, he was meant to test this. He's eating the whole thing, isn't he?
Who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? McMillan, he ate all the pies.
Well, that was a pie. What my dad used to call belly timber. I'd like to thank Kane Goddard, pie maker and diamond geezer, if I may make so bold. Next week, I'm off to Sussex to try a legendary, nay, mythical pie, the Sussex churdle, that few have seen and even less people have eaten. And we've got a man to make me one, and I'm going to eat it.
Who produced the show? Who produced the show? Julian May, he produced the show. And then he ate a pie.
Join Ian McMillan on his quest for the Sussex churdle, the Yeti of pies, it sounds like, on Sunday at 2:45.